The amount of times that I've interviewed people where I've asked them, do you have any questions for me? And they've said, no, I don't actually. Don't just throw this part away. You want to land your sysadmin or sysengineer role. You either already are going to go and interview, you've got an interview lined up, or you're actually looking right now for a new job, or you just want to know overall how to land a job if you happen to go and have an interview. A little bit about me. I started off as a tech, very strongly in a sysadmin, sysengineer role. So I understand that world very, very well. Now I look after techs. I look after teams of engineers, teams of developers in various roles. And I've interviewed a lot of sysadmins and sysengineers, and I know what skills and what impresses me to be able to then hire somebody who's a sysadministrator or a systems engineer. Generally, at the end of an interview, once you've been asked questions, you now may have an opportunity to ask questions of the interviewers. This is the best time for you to make sure that the company and that the people and that the role is the right fit for you. You've already gone and you've done the research on the company. You've looked into the people who are interviewing you. You've maybe done a bit of research on LinkedIn, things of that nature, to understand whether the company feels right, but there may still be questions. And this is the best time to now ask the questions. I want to know that they care about the culture of the company is doing well, what can they expect from the role, what do I as a manager expect of them? So questions that are aimed in these areas is definitely something that I recommend. You should now know the role. You should now have researched enough about the company. You've researched enough about the role itself, the position description. What does it actually ask for? Because that's generally what you're going to be doing. So now you ask any questions that you're unsure about, things that you just want to fill in those gaps. Questions that make the interview panel go, wow, this person does care about this company and about what we are actually doing. What does my day-to-day look like? What are the daily activities that you would expect for my position? Also ask, how has this position become vacant? If they've already told you, great, but if they haven't, ask, why is this job vacant? Is it a brand new opportunity, a brand new role in the organization? Maybe they're looking at expanding, or is it because somebody has just recently left the business and you are filling in that spot? If they say that it's a brand new role, be good to ask them, well, why is it a brand new role? Well, what was the need for this role? If it's somebody that you're replacing, feel free to ask them, why did the person choose to leave the organization? Many companies will obviously assess the performance of employees. You may have an annual review or regular reviews. You may have KPIs, like key performance indicators, things that they're going to be tracking against you. They're going to give you a task at the start of the year and to see how you perform that task over the next 12 months, for example. So asking the question, how will my performance be reviewed? What sort of feedback will you be giving me during my performance? How do I know if I'm doing a good job? Who am I going to be reporting into? Who is my boss? What do they do in the organization? Maybe what is the team size? How many other people am I going to be working with, reporting into this one or many bosses? Why don't you ask them, why do you like working here? Something that you could ask is, what is the culture of this place? Do you enjoy working here with people? What is the culture? What do people like doing? What do people talk about when they're around the water cooler? Do people like going out for dinner, for drinks during the week? What does that all sort of look like? Is there a very good team atmosphere? Because if you find out that the culture is terrible, the job may be very good, but if the culture isn't very good, then you may have some trouble. So ask that question. How is the business doing? Is the business being profitable? In other words, is the business making money? Is the business making more than it did last year? Is the business growing? Is it shrinking? If you're seeing the signs, I mean, you've done your bit of research already when you're looking at, market research on the business. If you looked at stocks, if you looked at shares and they're going the wrong way, and then all of a sudden the company goes bust, or they're really struggling and they have to do some layoffs, and then you're in that mix. So make sure that you're going to a place that is doing well financially. So not a problem for you to ask the question, how is the company doing? With that, asking the question, where's the company going in the next 5 years? If you've got somebody senior, they may be able to give you an example of, well, in the next 1 year, we want to be here. In the next 5 years, we want to be here. Not just money-wise, but maybe they're going to say, we're looking at building another office in this other location, or we're looking at buying this business and growing and doubling or tripling in size. Know about those sort of things specifically around the company. LinkedIn, comments, news, reviews on Glassdoor, on Google, in other places. If there are people saying things about the company that are not so good, ask that question. Hey, look, I saw a comment on Glassdoor about an ex-employee who said this. Just wondering whether you could expand on that. And I think most people who are going to be interviewing somebody are going to be genuinely interested why this person is asking these questions, because this is for me, right? I think that somebody asking me those questions shows me, firstly, that they did their research, but secondly, that they care, that they want to make sure that they're finding a good fit in an organization. You don't want to be finding things out once you've started a business. And just because some Glassdoor reviews weren't positive doesn't mean that the business isn't positive, because it could just be completely unrelated. It could be something that employee did and they left on very bad terms. It could be somebody that's not even part of the team that you're going to be working in. What sort of training is available is something that is very, very important. If you go into a company and you're not developing your craft, you're not improving in your skills, tech is changing so quickly, you can get left behind. So it's good that, yes, you do your own research, your own study at home to make sure that you're up to date with everything. But if the company can offer you training, then it's also even better. So as part of the discussion, when you're talking about salary, when you're talking about your title, all of those things, it's also good to sort of see whether they are offering any training, because a training course may cost them a few $1,000s, and that's great because that actually adds, it's a benefit for the business, but also adds to your personal skill set. Maybe you want to go and get certified in a specific technology. Well, that's even better. You may be working in a company that has a lot of different sites in different areas, in different states, overseas, and you may need to go and travel to do something. If they say, hey, you're going to be traveling every single week and that's not achievable for you, it's good to know that. If you're really big into travel and you like to go and visit other sites and meet new people and work with other techs and different setups, then if they say, sorry, there's no travel at all, you're not going to be doing any sort of travel, then that is also something that you may consider. Are you happy with the title? Just because the position description listed a specific title, there's no reason that you couldn't ask for a tweak of that title, or at least see whether there's opportunities for that title to change in future. And that's also true of your salary. You should now know what the salary is. At least you should know the band that they're asking for or that they're offering as part of this role. So this is your chance now to ask what are you actually offering as part of that salary. Now at the same time, sometimes that discussion you want to have at the very end, maybe next time. And even once you've been offered the role, then that sometimes is a good point to talk about your salaries. And of course, where are you going to be working from? Is it a hybrid role? Are you working from home? Are you working from an office? Are you working from a different spot? Ask that question then. So there are a few examples of some company questions that you could actually be asking, but really showing an interest that you're interested about the company, where the company is heading, if the company is going to be successful and grow, and that you want to come in and contribute and support that also.